Hello, and welcome to Spokane County Spotlight. I'm County Commissioner Al French, and on today's Spotlight, we're going to be taking things slightly different. As the chair of the Board of County Commissioners, I wanted to take the opportunity to recap the bizarre year that was 2020 and the exciting prospects we have ahead of us for 2021. So let's start out with recapping of 2020. Spokane started the year with the strongest economy it's had in recent history. Job creation in nearly all sectors was growing at a record pace. Existing industries were expanding, and new industries were locating or starting up here. New construction was slated to top $1 billion for the third year in a row. Every jurisdiction in the county was sharing in the regional success. We were slated to host the first round of the NCAA basketball tournament and watch our Zags ascend to the national champions we all know that they are. The world had discovered Spokane County, and the number of families moving here was significant. Each spring, the board chair gives a State of the County address to the community. I was excited to speak about our successes and to talk about what could be Spokane's next big thing. As a reminder to everybody watching about where we were, I would like to show you a short little video that I'd planned on premiering as part of my State of the County address. This video outlines the type of booming economic environment we were experiencing at the beginning of 2020.
Spokane County, nestled between the Cascade Mountains to the west and the Rockies to the east, a special corner of the world, with a rich history and economic development that dates back to the fur trade of the mid-1800s. After settlement in the late 1800s, Spokane County quickly became the economic center of the inland Northwest. Of all the forces that shaped the economy in the early days, none were more powerful than the role of the rail hub and the regional destination for services to the surrounding rural populations of eastern Washington and northern Idaho. Spokane County became the doorway to the world for farmers in the rolling wheat fields of the Palouse to the south, miners of the Idaho Panhandle to the east, lumberjacks from the counties to the north, and vastly growing expansion of ag producers to the west. In the 20th century, leaders throughout Spokane County undertook efforts to stay competitive by attracting national and international investment in the form of tourism, military, and research. These investments in turn supported other complementary businesses, which created a well-rounded and diversified economy. In 1942, many of Spokane County's businesses and citizens bought 1,400 acres west of Spokane and presented the title to the War Department to establish Fairchild Air Force Base. Since then, Fairchild is routinely credited as being the county's largest single-site employer. The base has been a key part of the United States defense strategy, from World War II to Iraqi freedom. Today, Fairchild's aircraft and personnel make up the backbone of the Air Force tanker fleet on the West Coast. With the new tanker wings being located at Fairchild in 2020, the base will become the largest refueling wing in the entire world. In 1974, Spokane welcomed over 5 million visitors from around the world to the first environmentally themed World's Fair, Expo 74. The successful event revitalized the urban core, pumped nearly $150 million into the regional economy, and provided local leaders with the inspiration to think big when it comes to tourism in our region for many years to come. As one of Inc. magazine's top 50 best U.S. cities to start a business in 2020, the city of Spokane, located in the heart of Spokane County, is a place where logistics and manufacturing companies come to thrive. This is a place where the cost of living is low and the quality of life is high.
I find that a lot of people who really could choose to live anywhere have chosen Spokane because they recognize the quality of life that is afforded here in our community. Students, transportation, affordability, a core of up-and-coming companies, quality of life, all great reasons why Spokane is a place you ought to relocate to, move to, or start a company in.
In 2019, Spokane County's debt rating was upgraded to AA+. This is the county's highest ever rating by Standards & Poor's. The only county in the state with a higher rating is King County, the home to the city of Seattle.
The importance of getting this rating, which is higher than we've ever got before, the major impact of that is to the taxpayer. Our resources can either be spent on servicing debt on a high interest rate or a low interest rate, which frees up the money to do law enforcement, roads, and all the other services that folks depend on. That's why this rating is so important to the average taxpayer.
In 2019, Spokane County added more than $1 billion in new construction to the tax rolls, with more construction jobs coming to Spokane County than nearly all other regions of the U.S. In 2020, there is no sign of slowing down.
The Spokane market right now is growing really fast. This past year, twice, we were the fastest growing metro area in the country. Right now, we're one of the top 50 fastest growing metro areas for construction employment, which just goes to show how much work there is out there and how much we are growing and how much work we see on the horizon. And that's where a lot of the optimism comes from construction companies.
The rate of new startups and entrepreneurs are also reaching new heights. Businesses start and stay in Spokane County because the community shares commitments to breaking down barriers and dreaming big. Employees love working here because it's one of the best places to afford a home.
Spokane County has been a huge partner to the Spokane Home Builders Association, and they work with us as the industry to make sure that we reduce unnecessary regulation to make housing attainability a reality for a lot of our citizens in our community.
Spokane County remains the region's transportation hub, with unparalleled access to railway, roadway, runway. With 18 non-stop destinations, Spokane International Airport is the inland northwest gateway to the world.
I think what makes us among the nation's best airports is our total and complete focus on the customer. We pay attention to the details and are always focused on making sure that it is efficient to get in and get out of the airport, as well as obviously adding connectivity to the global economy. Those are the really key issues for us, is that connectivity and then backing it up with world-class customer service and amenities and infrastructure.
The beauty of Spokane County is that you can work downtown surrounded by historic brick buildings, get off at 4:30 and drive 15 or 20 minutes and be in nature. You can be kayaking down the Little Spokane River, you can be climbing Big Rock, or you could be mountain biking in Beacon Hill, all of these things within a 15-minute drive of downtown Spokane.
With over 100 lakes and rivers, 5 ski resorts, and boundless other outdoor activities within 30 minutes of the urban center, there is something for everyone here. And while Spokane County is a great place to have fun, it's also the medical epicenter between Seattle and Minneapolis. Spokane County is home to medical schools at the University of Washington and Washington State University, providing opportunities for students and patients in the region, and also helping to fuel healthcare and biotech startups.
So right now we are teaching hundreds of future doctors for this region and for the state. And that's just a unique spot to be in. It really means that we'll have access to world-class medicine here in this region for generations to come. And it's also going to fuel biomedical startups, which expands economic opportunity and job opportunity for young people here in this community, as well as economic growth. So we are at the beginning of this exciting phase of medical expertise and medical experience and teaching here in this region.
Spokane County is often recognized as being one of the top places in the nation to live, raise a family, and pursue an education at every level. Families have a great variety of options for K through 12 and dozens of community colleges and four-year colleges and universities to choose from in the area.
As I reflect on the past 4 years, some of the highlights for me has been being in classrooms with only 15 to 20 people, with professors who really care about you and your progress and education is really important.
Employers have access to over 72,000 undergraduate students pursuing degrees in a multitude of disciplines, ranging from agriculture to engineering to medicine.
I think one of the advantages that the Spokane area has when we look at developing the business here, and particularly in aerospace, is we have an incredibly talented workforce. The quality of life is very high here. Crime rates are low. We have many outdoor activities, and the cost of living is low. It's very easy to attract people to this area. We just get them to come here, and once they're here, they're sold.
Spokane County. Experience a great place to raise a family, build a career, and enjoy a high quality of life.
My, oh my, how things changed almost overnight. My State of the County address was scheduled to be delivered on March 13th. Due to the emergence of COVID-19, we decided to cancel that event. On the following Monday, the Board of County Commissioners, along with the leadership of the other local jurisdictions, declared a state of emergency and activated the Emergency Operations Center, otherwise known as the EOC. This center becomes the command center for disaster response like ice storm, firestorm, and windstorm. This was the first time it's been activated to respond to a pandemic. As a community, we started the seemingly never-ending task of responding to COVID-19 pandemic. On March 25th, Governor Inslee issued his Stay Home, Stay Healthy order. For the last 9 months, the primary focus of the Board of County Commissioners has been to help this community respond and eventually recover from this pandemic. Our primary task to the OC was to coordinate the regional response in partnership with their state and federal agencies and partners. Our first responders and emergency management personnel came together to develop strategies for our region to deploy resources that would help mitigate the threat of COVID-19 in this community. We are in the debt of these brave individuals that showed up day and day and day, putting themselves at risk for the benefit of the community. In addition to responding to the pandemic, we were also charged with ensuring continuity of government. Spokane County has over 2,000 employees and over 50 departments providing vital services to the citizens of Spokane County. We were faced with the challenge to ensure the safety of our citizens and our staff while still keeping our doors open. There were bumps in the road. The unique challenges caused by this complicated virus created many, many challenges for the county. I'm glad to say that we have found ways to continue to serve the public while keeping our staff safe. Our staff worked remotely where possible. We put into place safeguards like social distancing guidelines, mask protocols, teleconferencing capabilities, and safety barriers as just a few examples of the measures we took. By late March, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Securities Act, also known as the CARES Act, was passed by Congress and signed into law by the President. This relief package provided economic assistance for American workers, families, small businesses, and preserved jobs for American industries. Governments with a population of over 500,000 were eligible to receive a direct payment from the U.S. Treasury. Spokane County was one of the 5 in the state large enough to receive this direct funding from the feds. Spokane County's CARES allotment was approximately $91 million to aid the community. Unfortunately, these funds could not be used to replace the millions of dollars in lost revenues our community has been faced with. Over the course of the last 8 months, the commissioners have allocated over $80 million of these funds to help local food assistance programs, housing assistance, child care assistance, as well as providing the funding for free personal protective equipment for businesses, schools, universities, and first responders, and we provided additional funds for our health district. In June, Spokane County partnered with Greater Spokane Incorporated to provide free personal protective equipment through the Open Together program to help Spokane County small businesses and nonprofits reduce barriers to reopening and continue operations to keep employees and the public safe. Spokane County allocated CARES Act funds to purchase the PPEs. The good folks at GSI have provided us with a video showcasing these distribution efforts.
Today we are working with our small businesses in the county. Our county commissioners voted to approve $1.5 to $2 million to allocate for PPE for our small businesses in Spokane County. So today is our first day of distribution, but as you can tell behind me, we've got lots of cars lined up. And this is going to be definitely our busiest shift of the whole week, but we have nearly 1,700 businesses so far signed up to come get PPE for their businesses. So as cars drive through here, they're all going to go to our distribution tent, and we have a gallon of hand sanitizer for every business, a gallon of disinfectant cleaner, and we've got adult disposable masks, and we also have adult fabric masks, and we also have facial coverings for kids for our daycares and youth programs. Gloves come in packages, I believe, of 50 or 100. Most businesses will get one box of the gloves. Those were the ones that were really hard to source for us, and we got what we could. We were able to do all of our purchasing locally. We either worked with local manufacturers and or local distributors and suppliers. So that was really important for us as well. If it wasn't made here, it was sourced or distributed through here. These small businesses are really grateful. So many have said, thank you so much for everything you're doing for us. I think for business, it's nice to know that we support them and we understand that especially our smallest businesses are really the main street and the main engine of our economy. So anything we can do to support the smallest businesses in our county, we want to do that.
Businesses and nonprofits throughout our region have made it clear that they are ready to follow strict guidelines to include the use of personal protective equipment and sanitation practices. As a board, our focus is to keep our citizens safe and do everything we can to get our economy rolling again safely. The medical community has now developed several vaccines that are very promising. We will see some of these vaccines become available in parts of the country in December and worldwide the first part of 2021. This starts the road to recovery and a return to normalcy in 2021. These are unprecedented times, but like previous obstacles this community has confronted, this too will be a challenge we will overcome together. A large portion of my State of the County address focused on bringing the community together to advocate for the next big thing. As a community, we've demonstrated incredible capacity to overachieve and do the unexpected. Whether it's hosting a World's Fair or creating world events like Bloomsday and Hoop Fest, or hosting U.S. figure skating championships and setting world attendance records. We are the first city in the state to have 2 medical schools because we have community visionaries that set high goals and lead the efforts to achieve. As a community, we are defined by our ability to set high goals and then overachieve. Just like we came together to bring these big events to our region and bring 2 medical schools here, I think we can move past the effects of this pandemic quickly and build the next big thing. So what is that next big thing for us to focus on? We have an excellent quality of life and an abundance of recreational opportunities. We have a highly skilled workforce and the capacity to expand those numbers. We have over 70,000 college students within a 70-mile radius of Spokane, many of those seeking careers in engineering programs. We have several advanced manufacturing firms here producing products in the medical, manufacturing, and aerospace industries. Job creation in the advanced manufacturing sector is clearly an opportunity that already has a foundation to build upon. Today, we host over 130 companies that are part of the aerospace supply chain, and others that are looking to locate facilities here. One such company is Mullen Technologies, which is already working to bring an all-electric vehicle manufacturing plant to the West Plains. With all of the capacity that we have around Spokane International Airport, I think that the next big thing for Spokane to focus on is bringing an aerospace manufacturer here to the airport. Instead of watching 737 airframes travel from the Midwest through Spokane to Seattle on rail cars, we need to build those airframes here and fly those planes to the world. Before the pandemic hit, this was within our reach. Now that we are coming out of the pandemic, we need to refocus on our strengths and bring those good-paying jobs to Spokane. The ripple effect of a manufacturer of that nature in this community would be significant and creates jobs that do not require a college degree. This would rise the tide for all segments of our economy. This is an idea with the right time to take off. I've enjoyed the opportunity to share this discussion, and I hope all the viewers out there have found it helpful as well. But I'm afraid we've run out of time. As a reminder, a video of today's Spotlight can be accessed on Spokane County homepage and on our Spokane County YouTube channel. I'm County Commissioner Al French. Thank you for joining me today on the Spokane County Spotlight.